and welcome to South Asia Today, a show that provides you the glimpses of South Asia. I'm your host, Shivangi Mishra. Let's begin with the headlines first. India celebrates T20 World Cup triumph, unites nation in cricket fever. Pakistani Christians protest sentencing of Christian man over blasphemy. And monarchy and Hindu state key to Nepal's future stability, says pro-monarch leader Rajendra Lingadin. Let's begin the show. Cricket is akin to a religion in India, where young enthusiasts strive tirelessly to join Team India and represent the country internationally. The cricket-crazy nation received a significant boost as the Indian cricket team clinched the T20 World Cup title in Barbados. Let's explore why cricket continues to captivate the youth in India.
A hero's welcome awaited Team India as they returned home triumphant champions of the ICC Men's T20 World Cup in Barbados. Amidst a sea of jubilant fans, the streets transformed into a carnival of cheers, tricolour flags and beating drums. The victory reflects the joy and pride of a nation united in celebration. The players, adorned with garlands and smiles, held the coveted trophy high, symbolizing their hard-fought victory. From street parades to heartfelt speeches, India embraced its cricketing heroes, celebrating not just a win, but a testament to resilience, teamwork, and the spirit of the game. After nearly 4 weeks of power-packed action, India lifted the ICC Men's T20 World Cup 2024 trophy by defeating South Africa by 7 runs in the final match at the Kensington Oval in Bridgetown. The cricket fans in India are delighted with the win.
Rohit Sharma deservingly deserves this trophy. So many heartbreaks, 2023, 2023 WTC final, and now finally we have World Cup which we have won.
बहुत क्लोज मैच था और इंडिया की टीम ने कर दिखाया. हजारों इंडियन का विश्वास जो इंडिया टीम के ऊपर था, इंडियन के प्लेयर्स ने उसको प्रूव करके दिखाया है. भारत माता की.
Cricket has even caught the fancy of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who invited the victorious team to be part of the national celebrations. He praised the team for their dedication, resilience and exemplary teamwork, which brought immense pride to the nation.
You know, the fantastic talent है इंडियन क्रिकेट में अभी एंड जो इन लोगों की एनर्जी है, इन लोगों की कॉन्फिडेंस है, वो एक अलग लेवल की है एट दिस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम. और मुझे पूरी उम्मीद है और मैं चाहता भी ये भी हूँ कि ये एक जो शुरुआत थी, बहुत दिनों से हम ये खोज रहे थे एक आईसीसी ट्रॉफी, और इस कॉन्फिडेंस को आगे लेके जाके मेरी पूरी उम्मीद है कि आगे जाके इंडियन क्रिकेट बहुत सारी ट्रॉफी जीतेगी अगले 4, 5, 6 सालों में.
This is a great achievement. I mean, after 11-12 years, if we are winning the World Cup by defeating South Africa and many other countries, so it's a great achievement.
The Indian Premier League, started in 2008, revolutionized cricket with its mix of entertainment and sportsmanship. It drew global stars, highlighted local talent, and gained corporate sponsorships that boosted player earnings, facilities, and grassroots programs across India. The franchisee system enhanced regional pride, making cricket even more culturally significant. Its success sparked international interest, solidifying India's cricket dominance and ensuring a bright future for the sport.
Minorities in Pakistan have been suffering due to draconian blasphemy laws, which are frequently misused to target them on false allegations. These laws, rather than protecting the vulnerable, have become tools of oppression, leading to grave consequences for religious minorities. Recently, Dozens from Pakistan's Christian community rallied in the streets of Karachi against the death sentence given to a Christian man convicted of blasphemy. The protest, organized by the Christian community and civil society, highlighted ongoing tensions and the urgent need for justice and minority rights in Pakistan.
Dozens of civil society members in Pakistan's Karachi protested the death sentence given to a Christian man on blasphemy charges. Several Christians joined the rally, marking nearly a year since a major mob attack on Christians in Pakistan. The protest follows a Sahiwal court's verdict sentencing Ehsan Shan Masih to death for sharing hateful content against Muslims on social media. The protest, organized by the Christian community, Minority Rights March and civil society groups, took place outside Karachi Press Club to draw attention to the increasing persecution of religious minorities in Pakistan.
ये जो शान मसीह साहिवाल एंटी टेररिज्म कोर्ट ने उसको सज़ाए मौत सुनाई है, इस फैसले से हम मुतमिन नहीं हैं और ना सिर्फ पाकिस्तान की सारी अक़लियतें बल्कि मसीही जहाँ जहाँ आबाद हैं उन तक ये फैसला पहुँचा, उन्होंने सदाए एहतजाज बुलंद किया।
The controversy began when on 16 August 2023, 26 churches and hundreds of homes were torched in Jaranwala, Faisalabad district after two local Christian men were accused of desecrating pages of the Quran and writing a letter with blasphemous content. This triggered outrage among Muslims who attacked churches and Christian homes. Ehsan Masih, a 22-year-old man from Sahiwal district, Noor Jaranwala, posted the letter that sparked the violence on his TikTok account. Amir Farooq, a Muslim who now serves as a police officer, downloaded it and filed a complaint under Pakistan's blasphemy rules. Anti-Terrorism Court Special Judge Ziaullah Khan found Ehsan guilty of blasphemy, sentencing him to death, as well as 22 years in prison and a fine of 1 million rupees for other offences. Dushan was not party to the desecration. He was accused of reposting the defaced pages of the Quran on his TikTok account.
डिमांड हमारी सदर पाकिस्तान से, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑफ पाकिस्तान से, आर्मी चीफ से और वज़ीर आज़म पाकिस्तान से है कि इस बच्चे को फौरी तौर पर इंसाफ दिया जाए, इस केस को फिलफौर ख़त्म किया जाए और जिन लोगों ने दर हकीकत जड़ावाला में तबाहकारी की, मजहबी दहशतगर्दी की, उनको वाकई सज़ा दी जाए।
Minorities in Pakistan have been suffering due to drastic blasphemy laws, which have long been a source of controversy, with critics arguing they are often misused to settle personal scores and target minorities. The Human Rights Commission of Pakistan, in its latest annual report, mentioned the Jaranwala mob attack and stressed that violence in the name of religion has increasingly become the status quo in Pakistan. Moreover, in its report, HRCP has expressed concern over the potential for increased abuse following recent legislative changes that disproportionately affect minority groups such as Ahmadis, Christians, and Shia Muslims. Just last month in June, in Pakistan's eastern Punjab province, Sargodha city, a Christian man named Nazir Masih was brutally attacked by an angry mob over suspicions of blasphemy. Police officials reported that Masih was accused of desecrating the Quran. The surge in sectarian violence has prompted several countries, including the US, the UK, and Canada, to caution their citizens against traveling to Pakistan. This advisory adds to the existing travel restrictions due to terrorism and other conflicts, further emphasizing the country's security challenges. Until significant reforms are made, the threat of blasphemy-related violence will continue to overshadow the lives of Pakistan's religious minorities, hindering their hopes for a safer, more inclusive future.
Now we take a look at some happenings in Asia in a segment called Asia Watch.
When her husband was killed by Islamic State militants, Saja Mehdi Abdul Rasul found herself a job in a laundry shop in order to provide for her 2 children. Now running her own independent business, Abdul Rasul said she had to learn new skills from scratch, but that soon she was able to grasp the ins and outs of how to run a laundry shop in Basra. Main production center of Iraq's oil exports, the southern city of Basra is weary after years of conflict and has long waited to see a noticeable effect of oil revenue on the economy and on people's daily lives. It was the front line in the war with Iran in the 1980s and more recently was in the grip of feuding Shiite militants pushed out by US and British-backed Iraqi government troops in 2008. In this landscape, many members of the community got surprised seeing a women-run business succeeding. With her business flourishing and her children growing up healthy, Abdul Rasul is grateful for the support provided by the community and wishes more women could follow her footsteps towards a more literal society where man and women can invest alike at all levels. Sri Lanka will save $5 billion in interest owed to bilateral creditors as part of its debt restructuring process, President Ranil Wickremesinghe said, adding that the funds will be used to boost dollar reserves and restore growth. The cash-strapped South Asian country inked deals with China and other creditor nations to restructure about $10 billion in bilateral debt last week, following 15 months of negotiations, Wickremesinghe told Parliament. The agreements brought Sri Lanka closer to the end of a debt restructuring process that began in September 2022 after its foreign exchange reserves hit their lowest levels and forced the island nation to default on its foreign debt for the first time. Sri Lanka, whose total external debt is $37 billion, also has to finalize arrangements with China Development Bank to restructure debt of $2.2 billion according to latest Finance Ministry data. Once the entire debt restructuring process is completed, Sri Lanka hopes its debt burden will be reduced by $16.9 billion. Volunteers in a town near the Philippine capital Manila have come up with a unique way to educate local residents about the importance of environmental protection by exchanging plastic trash for rice. Spearheaded by Giulio India and his group of volunteers, the Plastic Pellet Biags or Plastic in Exchange for Rice program involves residents of the town of Mabini exchanging sacks of litter collected from their beach regardless of their weight for a kilogram of rice. The project is funded by donations from private individuals and small companies that advocate for marine conservation, according to India. According to India, since cleanup efforts began in October 2022, more than 4,300 kilograms of garbage have been collected in exchange for a total of 2,600 kilograms of rice. The program has been a huge help to some residents like 46-year-old Janet Acevedo, who are having to cope with the increasing cost of basic goods like rice. The Philippines is the planet's worst polluter when it comes to releasing plastic waste into the ocean, accounting for 36% of the total input globally, according to an updated April 2022 report by the Our World in Data project at the University of Oxford.
Moving on to Himalayan nation Nepal, the interplay between Hindu state and monarchy has historically shaped its political and cultural landscape. The latest right-wing pro-monarch leader asserts that only the return of the monarchy and the declaration of Nepal as a Hindu state can restore stability to the Himalayan nation. The leader's stance sparks debate about Nepal's future governance and identity. We have a report.
A right-wing pro-monarch leader has claimed that only the return of monarchy and declaration of Nepal as a Hindu state would bring stability to the Himalayan nation. Chairman of right-wing pro-monarch Rashtriya Prajatantra Party, Rajendra Prasad Lingden, claimed the present political system has failed and needs reform.
हिन्दू राष्ट्र हुनुपर्छ भनेर हिँडेको पार्टी.
Lingden, also the parliamentary leader of the fifth largest party in the parliament with 14 seats, called for the dismissal of the federal structure, claiming it to be costly and unfavorable.
हामीले नेपालको सन्दर्भमा नेपाललाई शान्त, स्थिर र समुन्नत राष्ट्रको रूपमा परिणत गर्ने हो भने यो प्रदेश तहको खारेजी हुनुपर्छ, हिन्दू राष्ट्र र राष्ट्र संस्थाको पुनर्स्थापना हुनुपर्छ र त्यसको जगमा जुन शान्ति स्थिरता कायम हुन्छ अनि जनताका प्रतिनिधिहरूले विकास निर्माणका कामहरू अगाडि बढाएर लान्छन्, देश अगाडि बढेर जान्छ भन्ने हाम्रो दृष्टिकोण छ.
According to Lingden, the party has been using the fronts of the roads as well as parliament to raise awareness and garner its support from the public to bring about the changes. The pro-monarchist leaders stated that the party would convince existing parties to agree on a point to make changes in the constitution, making them realize a failure in delivery which was promised at the time of change.
विद्यमान राजनीतिक दलहरू जसले गणतन्त्र, धर्मनिरपेक्षता, संघीयताको पक्षमा आफूलाई अहिलेसम्म आजको दिनसम्म उभ्याएका छन्, उनीहरूलाई नै सहमत गराउने परिवर्तनका लागि, किनभने उनीहरूले जुन रोडम्याप बनाएर देशलाई अगाडि बढाए त्यो गलत भयो भन्ने कुरा अब व्यवहारले प्रमाणित भइसक्यो. त्यसकारणले करेक्सन गर्न उनीहरूलाई नै सहमत गर्ने र सहमतिबाटै नेपालमा राष्ट्र संस्था, हिन्दू राष्ट्र पुनर्स्थापना गर्ने र संघीयताको खारेजी गरेर नयाँ मार्गचित्रबाट देशलाई अगाडि लैजाने.
Demands for a pro-monarch system have continued to rise in the Himalayan nation in recent years, with huge turnover since in the protests called by various pro-monarch groups. Thousands of people took part in a pro-monarch protest organized in the capital Kathmandu on November 23, 2023, which clashed with the police for hours, where pro-monarch chants along with others relating to loan shark laws were heard. Earlier this year on April 9, thousands of pro-monarch supporters rallied in Kathmandu and broke into a restricted zone in front of Singh Darbar, the administrative capital of the nation, defying the tear gas and water cannons used by the police. Nepal in the year 2006 had abolished a centuries-old constitutional monarchy. After then, King Gyanendra seized power and imposed an emergency, sending all the leaders under house arrest. The movement, also referred to as People's Movement Second, witnessed bloodshed with dozens killed in the crackdown against protesters by the government. Formed in the 1990s after lift of the ban on the formation of political parties by then monarchical system, the Rashtriya Prajatantra Party since then served as the force always supporting the kingship. It also has been taking part in periodic elections and presenting its demands forth.
The residents of Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir endure a year-long battle against soaring prices and unfulfilled promises. Despite repeated protests against inflation and high electricity costs, the administration provides no relief. A local named Fahab Hamid Kiani's revelation of torture while in custody underscores the harsh realities facing dissenters in this region. We have a report.
It has been over a year and the residents in PoJK are still grappling with inflation and high prices of wheat flour and other essential food items. There have been several protests demanding subsidies on wheat and flour prices as well as electricity bills, but the administration has not fulfilled any of these demands. Instead, they arrested those who joined the protests. Fahab Hamid Kiani, who was arrested along with other protesters in May, revealed that he was tortured in jail for 6 days.
वहाँ पे 6 दिन हमें समझ लें टार्चर किया गया कि हमें बंद कमरों में रखा गया, बाहर निकलने की इजाज़त नहीं है, किसी से मिलने जुलने की इजाज़त नहीं है. जो बंदा जिसका कोई जुर्म ही नहीं है, जिस पे कोई FIR नहीं है.
During the massive demonstrations in May, 3 protesters and 1 security official were killed in clashes. An alliance of civil rights groups called off the protest following several days of turmoil when Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif approved a grant of 24 billion Pakistani rupees to help meet most of their demands. However, activists have now raised concerns over the lack of action in providing subsidies and any sort of relief to the residents.
लेकिन हुकूमत इस वक्त अपनी हठधर्मी पर डटी हुई है और वो अभी तक जो है आवाम को सब्सिडाइज आटा और फ्री बिजली का हक जो है, फ्री बिजली का हक भी उन्होंने ना दिया। 3 रुपये फी यूनिट जो उन्होंने ऐलान किया, 3 रुपये 5 रुपये, तो वो भी जो है अभी तक उन्होंने नहीं दिया।
Wahab told reporters that administration has not resolved any of their issues and has failed to fulfill any of their primary demands. He also highlighted that charges of murder have been pressed against the activists, which he believes are bogus and intentional.
जो है अभी तक मसाइल जो है वो हल नहीं हुए। हमारे बहुत से असीरान अभी भी रिहा नहीं हुए, जिन पे बेबुनियाद और बोगस FIR जो है वो उन पे लगाई गई है और उनको यानी 302 में अंदर किया गया है। जो ASI शहीद हुए उनका जो कत्ल है वो उन पर डाला गया है। हालांकि FIR में पुलिस ने ये चीज़ खुद लिखी हुई है कि इनको उस कत्ल से आधा घंटा पहले हमने अरेस्ट कर लिया था।
There are signs of unrest brewing among the residents over these demands. Locals in PoJK are fed up with the administration and the authorities in the region. Heavy taxation and the lack of subsidies on food have disgruntled the local populace. Amidst inflation and a high degree of suppression from the administration, matters are getting worse in PoJK.
Now it's time for me to wrap up today's episode. We'll be back next week at the same time. This is Shivangi Mishra signing off on behalf of the entire production team of South Asia Today. Goodbye and take care.